Wonderful, thank you very much, Helen. You gave my intro for me, which is absolutely perfect and spot on. And I'm today going to be reading from Cut the Black Rabbit from Against the Rain Press. And it was 2.5 years of my of being homeless, street homeless, and living really very rough in the countryside down in Cornwall. So, note to the new homeless. The ground is hard, always cold. It doesn't matter where you are, it's ungiving. Spread out an army of blankets, clutch of sweaters, a murder of trench coats, it'll still be hard and cold. The sun, the moon, the circle of stars, time is the freedom of doorways. Bend your pearl person's elbows and arms to stretch to support the neck. This provides the position to protect your head. Keep eyes open or hair triggered shut, ready to jump. The sun, the moon, the circle of stars. Time is the freedom of doorways. Peer out through your covers, your hoodie and woolens, remnants, your handouts, your trash you've collected, newspaper, cardboard, polystyrene padding. Be prepared. A murder of doorways, the sun, the moon. Freedom is hard and it's cold. And it really was. I mean, I was street homeless for a long time. This is one of those 2 poems now actually about being street homeless. Tomorrow it will be the rain. My smile is rare. It's a spear to pierce your flesh, a stick across your head, a dagger on the street with glint and stip and edge, sharp to slice, but now disguised as frown across my face that's hidden in another life. I don't say thanks as you drop a coin, or if you smile as if you'd like to help, pat your pockets with a shrug, then walk away, your conscience clear. At least you saw me sitting here. At least you recognized my fright and didn't pass as if the night had left me a transparent space of air. Your conscience isn't my concern. You're anonymous in every sense. You are my transients. In crowds of coats and trouser legs, hidden in the blur that walks straight past, consumed by jobs and politics, you are the pain I've witnessed. To me, your life does not exist. My smile is rare. Tomorrow it will be the rain. Cold. I can't evict it. Can't turf it out on the street saying, why are you here? It's gripped to my innards like a tapeworm, coating my body like a frozen oven-ready turkey, clung to the whole of it like there's never an end to it, an unwanted guest in my chest. I am its house. I am the home of the cold. That's where it came from. Some fucker chucked it out onto the street and now it squats in me rent free, clings on tight because I'm all it has. If I can trick it, get it out just for a minute, I'll board myself up, my eyes, my mouth, my planks of wooden nails, hammer them home from my skull and bones and make sure it can't skulk back through the cracks. I am the home of the cold. And when I was on the streets, unfortunately I got beaten up. I was hospitalised several times. I had broken ribs. My eye sockets were fractured. My cheekbones were fractured. And so I moved more into the Cornish countryside, where I was maybe a little more unstable. And I found myself living, foraging, and I've been a vegetarian since age 12. But I was killing rabbits with myxomatosis and eating them. And this is a poem about that. Trixie Mixie. Why does Jill go slow and Jack not bounce? Where's the back leg spring and white tail flash? I see the coney stand with glass eyes stuck, shiver shake statuettes unmoved from dawn till dusk. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? What's the time? I once lived a life of 9 to 5, 2 up, 2 down, 24/7, 365. Now I camp outside with my grizzled, sizzled mind. Thoughts flick and kick and trick in a buzz of snow. Acid churns and burns my empty stomach bag. Hunger twists my wits, assists my fists to beat the living shit from any sense of logic I once owned. Patty head, give me bread, this old man will soon be dead. Give me meat, give me grub, give me blood in an old tin cup. Grass grows with entrails and cottontails. Blood red buttercups blossom and spread. Here lies a posy, black fur and daisies, and here comes the chopper to chop off its head. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? It's dinner time. So that was living wild in the countryside, and eventually, just before my move back to, unfortunately my father died, and I moved back to suburbia to look after my mum. Before I lived in a caravan for a little while. This was kind of the end of my homelessness. It's called Country Life, and this is a pantoum, which is my favourite form of poetry. Country life. Brown shells lay by the kitchen sink, albumen drips. The eggs were stolen from my neighbour's farm. The sign states fresh in hand-scrawled turquoise. An honesty box hangs by rusted wire. The eggs were stolen from my neighbour's farm. My caravan overlooks his meadows, fenced and gated. An honesty box hangs by rusted wire. The wind waves the grass through changing hues. My caravan overlooks his meadow, fenced and gated. Shades of harlequin, mint and sea flow for an acre. The wind waves the grass through changing hues, where the Methodist chapel floats behind leaves. Shades of harlequin, mint and sea flow for an acre. Orange yolks marry fresh greens from his garden. And where the Methodist chapel floats behind leaves, winter throws vermilion and crimson into the mix. Orange yolks marry fresh greens from his garden. The sunset moves on to a different horizon. Winter throws vermilion and crimson into the mix. I'm alone and feel night's weight as it falls. The sunset moves on to a different horizon. Brown shells lay by the kitchen sink. Albumen drips. I'm alone and feel night's weight as it falls. The eggs were stolen from my neighbour's farm. And the last poem for today is also the last poem in the fabulous pamphlet. I'm sure you'd like to read more of it. And this I'd like to dedicate to my best friend as a child, Jeff, who appears in this poem. We had a lot of fun together, and get well soon, Jeff. This is after Jane Herschel. This was once a poem of certainty, with foundations of childhood memories, concrete proper nouns and scant adverbs. It sailed down the Eden River with Tom and his dad, saw a dead sheep tangled in the reeds, pulled ollies on its skateboard with best friend Jeff in the summer of '76, scraped its knees on gravel and called them raspberries, took these medals with honour. This poem was beautiful and wandered freely through time and space, an innocent observer to life, a reflection of corporeal and ether, a meditation of what was and what might be. But then this poem stuttered, took a turn in the wrong direction, preferred to stay out drinking and get home for an early night. This poem grew sand and wondered why it didn't feel like a Betjeman Hughes or a Larkin, why it felt more like a Berryman or Plath. This poem feared being read, feared never being misunderstood. Now this poem is uncertain. It sits within walls, locked in under its own volition. It sprays itself with antibacterial spray until its words become blurred and indistinct, until syllables become uncountable, until consonants mix into vowels, until ink runs from its paper, until this poem hasn't been written at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for that stunning reading. Please do have a look back through the chat in a moment, because there are lots of wonderful comments there. It's such a pleasure to hear you read these poems. I've put the link in the chat so you can find a link to Benjamin's book in which those poems are. It's stunning, and so please do go find the link, find the book, find it now, order the book. But it really is takes it to another level to hear you read them. So thank you so much for being with us today and for that. And well, the comments are still flooding in. You can probably see the chat is dripping away now. Our third